The rain came down in relentless sheets, tapping against the cracked windows of the small apartment where Ethan Cole sat hunched over a stack of unpaid bills. His 6-year-old daughter, Lily, was asleep in the other room, her tiny frame curled under a blanket that had more patches than fabric. Ethan rubbed his temples, exhaustion weighing heavily on him. Ever since his wife's passing 3 years earlier, life had been a battle of survival, balancing tutoring jobs, delivery runs, and every odd task he could pick up just to make ends meet. He told himself he didn't need more. As long as Lily was safe, fed, and smiling, he could endure anything. But in the silence of the night, when his daughter's gentle breathing was the only sound, Ethan sometimes felt the sharp ache of what he had lost. Not just his wife, but the man he used to be, the brilliant criminal psychologist who once worked alongside law enforcement to crack impossible cases. Back then, colleagues called him a prodigy. Newspapers hailed him as a rising star in forensic profiling. He could read patterns in chaos, build psychological portraits of criminals from scraps of evidence, and solve puzzles that baffled seasoned agents. But that was another life. That man had died with his wife, leaving behind only a father desperate to give his daughter a childhood untouched by darkness. He leaned back in his chair, eyes closing briefly, when a sharp knock echoed at the door. It was past midnight. Ethan's instincts, honed from years in crime work, jolted him upright. Quietly, he moved to the door, glancing through the peephole. Standing outside was a woman in a dark blazer, soaked from the rain, her presence commanding even in exhaustion. He opened the door cautiously. "Can I help you?" The woman flashed an identification card so quickly he barely caught the letters, FBI. Ethan Cole. His stomach tightened. "Depends who's asking." "Special Agent Isabella Ramirez," she said, her voice calm yet firm. "I need your help." Ethan narrowed his eyes. "Whatever you're selling, I'm not buying. I don't do this anymore." She smirked, almost amused. "I didn't come here to sell anything. I came here to challenge you." She leaned in slightly, her dark eyes sharp. "Solve my case, win my heart." Ethan blinked, stunned by the audacity of the words. "Excuse me." Her expression softened into the hint of a smile. Half a tease, half a test. "I've read your files, your work. You were the best. And right now, I'm on a case that nobody can solve. I need you." He shook his head, stepping back. "You've got the wrong guy. I'm not that man anymore." But Isabella didn't move. "Maybe. But I think the man you used to be is still in there. And if I'm right, then you're the only one who can help me stop what's coming." Before he could respond, a soft voice broke the tension. "Daddy." Ethan turned to see Lily standing in the hallway, rubbing her eyes sleepily. She wore her favorite pink pajamas, her hair in messy curls. Isabella's sharp demeanor softened instantly as she looked at the child. "Everything's fine, sweetheart," Ethan reassured, guiding her back to bed. When he returned, Isabella was still waiting, her expression unreadable. "You've got 5 minutes, Ethan said finally, crossing his arms. She didn't waste a second. A series of robberies, perfectly executed. No alarms, no fingerprints, no witnesses. Millions in cash, but that's not the real problem. The pattern suggests they're not after money. They're after something else. My team is chasing ghosts, and every lead dies before it begins. But I read your old cases. You see what others don't. You make sense of the impossible. I want you on this. Ethan felt a bitter laugh rise in his throat. I walked away from that world for a reason. You think I can just dive back in? You could save lives, Isabella pressed. Then, lowering her voice, and maybe save yourself. You've been hiding, Ethan. Not living. Don't you think your daughter deserves a father who isn't drowning in the past? Her words cut deeper than he wanted to admit. He hated how easily she had read him. Still, he shook his head. I can't risk dragging her into this. It's dangerous. Then let me protect her, Isabella said firmly. Let me protect both of you. But help me, please. The rain outside softened to a drizzle, as if waiting for his answer. Ethan's mind raced. He wanted to slam the door, to retreat into the fragile safety of his small life. But Isabella's eyes held something he couldn't ignore, determination laced with desperation. And deep down, in the part of him he had tried to bury, there was a spark. The thrill of a puzzle unsolved. The echo of the man he once was. Tell me everything, he said at last. A flicker of triumph crossed her face. I thought you'd never ask. She spread documents across his kitchen table. Crime scene photos, maps, reports. Ethan studied them, his sharp mind reluctantly awakening. Patterns emerged like whispers in the chaos. The robberies always aligned with shipments of medical supplies, not cash. Surveillance outages happened days before the heists. And in each case, the thieves left behind small, almost invisible signs: a matchstick, a torn playing card, a single chess pawn. They're mocking you, Ethan murmured, tracing the photos with his finger. This isn't just theft. It's a game. Isabella leaned closer, intrigued. What kind of game? The kind where they're daring you to catch them, Ethan said, his eyes narrowing. And the kind where if you don't, they win more than just money. For the first time in years, Ethan felt alive. Terrified, but alive, and though he wouldn't admit it yet, Isabella's words echoed in his mind. Solve my case, win my heart. He didn't know what it meant then. But he would.